Among the many fascinating accounts in Islamic tradition, few are as mysterious and thought-provoking as the story of Haroot and Maroot. These two angels were sent by Allah to the ancient city of Babylon, not just to observe mankind, but to test them. Their story, mentioned briefly in the Qur'an, opens a deeper discussion about magic, free will, temptation, and the divine limits set by Allah. Unlike typical angelic roles, Haroot and Maroot were given a mission that involved interaction with humans on an earthly level. They were granted knowledge of sorcery, not to spread evil, but to serve as a trial for the people, who were warned explicitly not to misuse what they learned. This tale is not one of myth, but a real divine event layered with spiritual lessons about obedience, responsibility, and the dangers of straying from the path of righteousness. In this video, we'll explore who Haroot and Maroot were, why they were sent, and what their story teaches us about the power of choice and the consequences of disobedience. Get ready to dive into one of the most intriguing and often misunderstood narratives in Islamic history. The mystery of Haroot and Maroot, angels, magic, and a divine test. Among the many captivating stories within Islamic teachings, the tale of Haroot and Maroot stands out for its blend of mystery, divine wisdom, and deep moral lessons. Mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, these two angels were sent to Babylon, a city known for its ancient knowledge and complex spiritual history. Their mission, however, was unlike any given to other angels. They came as a divine test, entrusted with knowledge of magic to observe how humans would respond. Would they resist temptation, or fall into disobedience? This story invites believers to reflect on the boundaries of divine knowledge, the consequences of human choices, and the reality of unseen forces like sihr, magic, which Islam strictly condemns. The narrative of Haroot and Maroot is not one of fantasy, but a powerful lesson in free will, accountability, and the limits of human desire. Background: Babylon and the rise of corruption. The story of Haroot and Maroot is rooted in the ancient city of Babylon, one of the oldest and most historically significant cities in the world. Located in present-day Iraq, Babylon was a hub of civilization, culture, and spiritual experimentation. Over time, the people of Babylon became heavily involved in mysticism, idolatry, and sorcery. They began to seek hidden knowledge not to draw closer to God, but to gain power, manipulate others, and fulfill selfish desires. It was in this environment that Allah decided to send a test to the people. Haroot and Maroot, two angels, were sent not as punishers or preachers, but as testers, to reveal the hearts of those who claimed to seek truth but pursued falsehood instead. Quranic mention of Haroot and Maroot. The only direct reference to Haroot and Maroot in the Quran appears in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:102. And they followed what the devils had recited during the reign of Solomon. It was not Solomon who disbelieved, but the devils disbelieved, teaching people magic and that which was revealed to the two angels at Babylon, Haroot and Maroot. But they do not teach anyone unless they say, "We are only a trial, so do not disbelieve," by practicing magic. Yet they learn from them that by which they cause separation between a man and his wife. But they do not harm anyone through it except by permission of Allah. This verse reveals several important points. Magic existed before Haroot and Maroot, taught by devils, not prophets like Sulaiman, a.s. Haroot and Maroot warned everyone before sharing knowledge. People were tempted by the knowledge and misused it, despite the clear warning. Who were Haroot and Maroot? Haroot and Maroot were angels, created by Allah and entrusted with absolute obedience. Angels, by their nature, do not sin. However, according to Islamic tradition and various tafsir commentaries, these two angels were sent to demonstrate to mankind that resisting temptation is not as easy as it may seem. Some scholars narrate that the angels once questioned why humans committed so many sins, while they, the angels, remained obedient. Allah allowed Haroot and Maroot to descend to earth, take on human-like characteristics, and experience the same trials as people. It was then that they understood the intensity of human desires and how challenging it is to remain steadfast in a world filled with temptations. This interpretation emphasizes humility. Even angels, when given free will and placed in human conditions, needed to guard themselves against wrongdoing. Their divine mission. Haroot and Maroot were granted knowledge of magic, but not for evil. They served as a test, a filter, to see who among the people would choose obedience over temptation. Every person who approached them was warned. We are only a trial. Do not disbelieve by learning this. Magic in Islam, a forbidden practice. Islam strictly forbids the practice of sihr, magic. It is considered a major sin, and in some cases, even an act of disbelief, kufr, especially when it involves seeking help from jinn or performing acts of shirk, associating partners with Allah. Magic is real in Islam, it is not illusion or trickery alone. However, any benefit it appears to bring comes at a spiritual cost, often involving pacts with evil forces, severing of family ties, and destruction of mental and emotional well-being. The story of Haroot and Maroot serves as a divine warning that even knowledge, when used wrongly, can become a path to destruction. Lessons from the story. The brief yet powerful account of Haroot and Maroot delivers several timeless lessons. Free will is a divine responsibility. People were not forced to learn or practice magic. They were warned clearly. This highlights that each soul is accountable for its choices, regardless of external influences. Not all knowledge is beneficial. Islam emphasizes the pursuit of knowledge, but also teaches us to be cautious. Knowledge that leads to disobedience, arrogance, or spiritual harm is not beneficial. The story reminds us that some forms of knowledge are a test, not a blessing. Obedience is more valuable than power. The people of Babylon chose temporary power over eternal truth. Today, many still chase influence, fame, or control at the expense of morality. The tale of Haroot and Maroot reminds us that obedience to Allah is the true source of success. Spiritual dangers are real. Magic, evil eye, and the influence of jinn are realities in Islam. While we don't obsess over them, we are reminded to seek protection through daily supplications, Quranic recitation, like Ayat al-Kursi and Surah Al-Falaq and An-Nas, and maintaining a strong connection with Allah. Controversies and misinterpretations. Over time, myths and fabricated tales crept into the story of Haroot and Maroot. Some accounts claim they fell in love, committed sins, or were punished severely. However, these are not supported by authentic sources and must be approached with caution. The Quranic account is clear: they were angels sent with a purpose, and they fulfilled that role without wrongdoing on their part. The test was for mankind, not the angels themselves. The story of Haroot and Maroot is more than a tale from ancient Babylon. It is a mirror to our own struggles with temptation, choice, and obedience. In a world where spiritual shortcuts, mysticism, and the desire for control still lure many people, their story stands as a divine warning.